welcome. Today I'm taking you through my completed pages from the month of November 2023. I'm really excited to do this one because I didn't do that many pages, but I did some that I really liked, and I did some that are quite simple, but I really enjoyed doing them. So hopefully you enjoy seeing what I came up with in the month of November. So we're gonna start with me giving you an overview of them. So I worked in 7 books in the month of November. I completed 7 pages, and I have 3 works in progress as well. So 10 pages in these 7 books. And now let's just go through them one by one. I'm gonna start with the works in progress. The first one is in Botanicum, the English version, special edition by Maria Trolley. My page is this one, sort of a wintry page. And I'm kind of halfway through it. So what I did is I based almost everything except for the cabin and the tree trunks. And the moose and this little guy here. But as you can see, I did the leaves on these 2 trees. I based all these forest trees with light green. I also finished the mountains, and I also created a sky, a blue sky, to add a bit of depth here and here and here. And of course I did the river that turns into a lake here and the little red flowers. What I used are 2 sets of pencils. I used Prismacolor for the leaves on these 2 trees, and for the rest I used Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer pencils, dry, although you might say, I colored waters. I colored water, so why didn't I use them as watercolor? But I just didn't feel like it. I feel like I have more control with them dry. So that's what I did, because I started here and I really like that. And if I look at the element that I like most on this page, it's actually the water, how it turned out. What I wanted was to practice contrast between the darkest areas and the lightest areas. Also make the darker ones coming from here somehow. I hope you are able to see that. Let me bring it a little bit closer to you. I really like how I've been able to do the water, to add depth to the water, essentially. I tried to do that a little bit with the leaves as well, so I used 2 different colors, a light green and a dark green. A little bit with the flowers as well, so there's a dark red and a light pink as well in there. Maybe you can see it. And I started working on this tree. These are going to be the colors for the forest trees. And I'm trying to do the same here, if you can notice. I did the same with the mountains a little bit. So here are some darker areas. Here, it's behind this one. Here as well. Also made this side of the mountain just a little bit darker. And that's also mirrored by the depth of the blue sky. So yeah, work in progress. I'm gonna keep working on it in December because I like it. It's cute. It goes slow, but that's alright. I was thinking about it. I could do a lot of pages, and sometimes I just do just to relax, or I can do a fewer, but try multiple things on that same page. So of course, if you do more layers, then it takes more time, but then you also create depth. So I think I'm gonna play with the amount of time I spend on a page and see what's optimal for me, what I enjoy. Also, of course, I did the grass as well, also Albrecht Dürer, and I also tried to make it a little bit darker here when you're in the forest, there in the back, and a little bit lighter as you get closer to this side. Yeah, so that's Maria Trolley, Botanicum. Another work in progress is in Rita Burman's Meine Reise durch Afrika. This one is a page I already started in October, and I just colored only a little bit from it. So I've kept the same color palette, but I've added yeah, colors to a few more buildings, to a few more cars. I started coloring this. So my plan, let me just show you up close, and this is all done with Prismacolors, by the way. Yeah, so my plan for this is to use this color, sort of a terracotta, in my eyes at least, to use it for all of these buildings that are now white. So I've done the ones in the back, sort of the skyscrapers. So I did the modern part of the city with grays, purples, lilacs, that sort of thing. And then the, I guess, older, more traditional part of the city, I want to do in this color here. And then the cars, I want to keep colorful, and I want them to mirror sometimes the color of the skyscrapers. And then I still need to think what I'm going to do for the street, what kind of color, but it's probably going to be a muted one so that the cars are able to stand out, to create that contrast between them. So this is still work in progress. I think I'll keep doing it little by little. And I'm gonna move on to the last work in progress that I have. And it's in Wish You Were Here by Teresa Goodridge. And it's this one. Now, I didn't do much more on this one. I basically finished the cabin, more or less. Well, the wooden part of the cabin. So yeah, and this, I did the tree trunk as well. So I'll just keep doing it slowly but surely. This is all done with Albrecht Dürers, except for this. The margin is a jelly roll, metallic. With this one, I really want to focus on the details and try to take this slowly, but do it really, really well. And well, what well means for me is that there's enough contrast between dark and light, that there's depth to the page, and I really want to try to give this. I am quite happy with how I was able to do that with the house itself, with the cabin. And I think in order for me to be able to do that, it takes me quite some time. I go very slow. So yeah, I'm gonna take my time with this particular page. And these are the 3 works in progress that I had to show you. Now we're gonna move to completed pages, and I'm gonna stay with Teresa in Wish You Were Here, because one of the first pages I did, I think, in the month of November was this one. I really enjoyed it. It was so nice to color this one. I did it with markers. I did it with alcohol markers, all of it. I used the Winsor & Newton Pro Marker brush alcohol markers. They are lovely and they take to this page quite nicely. I especially like how I did the rocks. I did 2 tones. I wanted to add a bit of depth without doing anything else. I also tried to do that with the sky as well, to introduce some variety with changing the colors of the trees and the bushes. But yeah, with this one, I first thought, okay, I'm gonna base it with alcohol markers and then I'm gonna go over it with pencil. But what I did notice, tell me if you have the same thing or not. I hope it's not, too bad. But when I finished the color on a page, for me, it's kind of done. Like, I know it doesn't have too much depth and all of that, but I look at it and I feel like, okay, I'm done. I don't feel like doing more on this page. It's kind of done for me. It's cute. I enjoyed it. I don't think I would enjoy it even more if I went over it with pencil. So that's why I'm kind of tempted to just leave it as is. What do you think? I feel a bit guilty about it because I see all these beautiful pages, and I know in order to add depth you need to at least have 2 tones, like I tried to do with the rocks. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like I'm done. So when I'm done, I'm done. I hope you still like it. I like it. That's important, of course. And that's Teresa Goodridge for this month in Wish You Were Here. Lovely book. Next up, we're going back to Rita because I do have a completed page. This one's also done with Prismacolors, and this one I finished towards the end of November, and I did it following a tutorial, not completely, but I started it by following a tutorial by My Colorful Country Life. And then I deviated a little bit, like the parrots don't look like hers at all, and I did all the flowers in the same color and she didn't, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that she allowed me to start to set such a beautiful base for this, and then to just use my creativity moving forward. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see it from bottom to the top. What do you think? I think it's super cute. I really enjoy doing this one. It's so colorful and bright and joyful. Now, if there's one thing I would change, which I learned as a lesson for next time, is not to try to make a parrot only in dark blues, because it stands out like a Zorai on the page. But hey, I learned from that. It was one of the first birds I did, and then I kind of toned it down. Do you see? This one's better, this one's better. You know, all the others are better because I learned like, ooh, maybe I need to add some light in there for that little bird to stand out as well. I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm happy with I'm happy with so much on this page. So I hope you enjoy it too. I definitely did. So that's Rita Burman, Meine Reise durch Afrika. Next up, we're going to Johanna Basford. I completed a page in her book Worlds of Wonder. This is the Dutch edition of Worlds of Wonder. It was the first page I colored in this book, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I'm curious what you think. Here's the entire page. So I did a lot on this page. I started with pencil with the inside, so I thought, let me do the background first. So this, and then I started doing a bit of the trees, and then the colors started taking shape. I like a lot about this page, and I'm going to tell you what I learned while I was doing it. Let me zoom in a little bit first so you can see it to its full extent. I got some feedback that I need to zoom in a little bit more on my pages, so let me know if this is good, if this is enough for you. Okay, so this page was completed using Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils, distress inks for the outer background, and jelly roll pens for this, for example, or the contour. So I started with the pencils. I did this is in 3 tones of the pink, lightest here, and then it got darker as we got close to this. Then I've got a bunch of greens for the trees. I use reds and pinks for this tent. And then what I wanted to do is create contrast between the ground and, yeah, all that is underground basically. And I still wanted to keep it with the greens. This is sort of the green part, and this is sort of the pink part. That's what I was thinking. And I'm super happy with it. I think I achieved that. And I think what really helps is that I put the darkest green here, so you can see it's underground, it's dark, it sends that signal, and of course it gets lighter as you go down and morphs into this. But then it allows for this lightest green area to stand out, to be in the foreground, which is what I wanted to achieve. Because when you look at this page, where does your eye go first? It goes here in the middle, and the tent and this grass and the trees. That's what stands out, that's what pops. And it's the choice of colors that I think helps achieve that. And then everything else is a little bit muted, it stands in the background basically. And then I was like, you know, this page is kind of empty apart from this little thing in the middle. And then I thought, well, let me use distress inks. I think I have some colors that sort of resemble this pink and the green. And I found them, and I did this. And then I sort of thought it's somewhere, like this is hanging somewhere in the sky. So I went with the blues, like a lighter blue and the darker blue. And I think the result is really magical. And it is called Worlds of Wonder, right? It's sort of ethereal. It makes you dream, and that's why I love it so much. I really, really love this page. I'm super happy with how it turned out. Also, the black stood out a bit, the black line art stood out a bit too much for me, so that's when I came in with the jelly rolls to mute this part and this part a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I look at it, it gives me joy. I hope it gives joy to you too. Here it is, one last look at it. This is one I'm gonna remember for a while. In Johanna Basford's Worlds of Wonder. Next up, I come to simpler pages. So I've got this book from Coco Wyo called Pocket Room, and I colored a pocket room in it. I only used alcohol markers, so my Winsor & Newton Pro Marker brush alcohol markers, and I did this. And it was fairly quick, and it was super nice, and I enjoyed using a lot of pastels and making it like a cute girly room. And when I finished with the markers, again, I was just done. I didn't feel like coming in with pencil and adding more depth on top. So there you go. I had fun and I was done. And then I moved on to the next one. So super cute book, Pocket Room from Coco Wyo. This is Amazon paper, by the way. And then I also picked up a page in Korea Chick's first coloring book. This is a Dutch artist, Dutch edition from Moose. But I think if you look hard enough, you can find it internationally. Not sure, but I have it and I love it. And I did this. So I did this in November. November was super rainy here in the Netherlands. It rained almost every other day, so it felt very appropriate. I was in the mood to color someone staying in, cuddling with their cat while looking at the rain outside, and that's what I did. I can't say this is a work of art or anything. I'm sure you would agree. And again, I stopped when I finished the alcohol markers. And I thought, let me base it with alcohol markers because I really enjoy just the act of coloring with alcohol markers. I find very relaxing. And then I thought, yeah, I'm gonna go in later to, sharpen it with pencils. But there you go, I didn't. I finished and I was like, it's done. It's not the prettiest, but I enjoyed while I was doing it. I tried out some combinations of colors. I realized this wall stands out way too much. That was way too dark blue to use for the rest of the pastels that are in this page. So I learned something about composition, and that was it. In Korea Chick's book. And last but not least, I will show you 2 pages in the book Inspiring Homes, Coloring for Adults. This is a Dutch book. And I also used the alcohol markers and Winsor & Newton Pro Marker brush on 2 pages. This is one of them. I learned a lot about color combinations from doing this book and using really strong, saturated colors. I liked how I created unity with the colors in here. So yeah, I learned quite a few things from doing this. Again, I didn't come back with pencil, so of course it could have more depth. But I felt like it was enough for me, and then I moved on. And the other page I did here was this one. Yeah, I guess I did add a bit of depth with the flowers with the 2 tones. But I just enjoyed the act of coloring and discovering the color palette that I have in my Winsor & Newton Pro Marker brush set. So that was the point for me for this one. All right, so that was it. Here are the books again that I colored in. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I was up to this month. I hope you also had a good coloring month. If you also have a YouTube channel, by the way, and you make such videos, please let me know what your channel is in a comment, because I love to check out more of them. I really love watching these videos as well. So I hope you enjoy watching the one I made as well. And that was it. Till next time, I wish you a happy coloring month in December, and I'll see you. Bye. Bye, everyone.